Between 2020 and 2024, rent prices has surged over 30%. More people than ever are renting instead of owning. Now, this is not by choice, but in actuality is by force. And while rents are rising, wages haven't quite kept up. Jobs are unstable. Now, if we were to be honest, we all know that the market was already stretched thin and now is finally at the point where it has snapped completely. Now, in today's video, we're going to break down a few reasons as to why this is, what that looks like for the future, and we're going to break down the top 10 states in the United States that's being affected the most by this market crisis. This data is courtesy of Consumer Affairs, and the methodology that they used to put together the list of research, and they rank all 50 states to determine the best places for renters using a scoring system based on four weighted categories. A score for each metric with the top performing state earnings, the highest possible score, and others receiving relative scores. We added the individual metrics to a category scores and then combined the category scores to calculate overall scores, which are out of a maximum of 100 points. So, more points that the state have in any given category means it's worse off than if it had less amount of points. So, least amount of points is good, more amount of points is not so good. It's out of 100 points, and most of these are ranked they're capped at 30 points. Now that we've got that out the way, with that being said, let's get into number 10. The 10th state on our list is going to be Tennessee. Now, Tennessee has an affordability rank of 25, a quality of life rank of 50, tenant protection rank of 11, and rental availability rank of 17. So what this means is Tennessee is about average when it comes to affordability, is below average when it comes to quality life, is above average when it comes to tenant protection, and it is above average when it comes to rental availability. Number 9 is going to be Connecticut. Connecticut has an affordability rank of 39, which puts it below average. Quality of life score of 8, which puts it above average. A tenant protection rank of 22, which is about average. And a rental availability rank of about 42, which is below average. Number 8 on our list is going to be Georgia. Georgia has an affordability rank of 37, which puts it below average. It has a quality of life score of 35, which also puts it below average. It has a tenant protection rank of 22, which is about average. And it has a rental availability rank, which is above average. Number 7, which is going to be Colorado. Colorado has an affordability rank of 46, a quality of life score of 38, which is below average, as well as the affordability rank. Now, the tenant protection rank is 5, which is really above average. And it also has a rental availability rank of 19, which is also above average. So, finding properties in Colorado is feasibly easy. Moving on to number 6, we have Maryland. Maryland has an affordability rank of 42, which is well below average. Quality of life score of 33, which is also below average. Tenant protection rank of 11, which is above average. And a rental availability rank of 33, which is also below average. It's time to get into the top 5. These 5 states are states that are having a large problematic rental market and is being affected by the newly changes that has been going on for the last few years with the increasing amount of rent cost, the stagnant wages, and also other effects of the social and economic status of the housing market, including things like government transitions and things of that nature. Now, get into the top five. Number five, we have Massachusetts. Over all the metrics that was consumed and reported with this consumer affairs research study, Massachusetts has 38.7 out of 100 points. Massachusetts rounds out the worst five states for renters because of low affordability and availability. At nearly $1,700 a month, the median rent is the fourth highest in the nation, and Massachusetts tenants are the third most cost burdened, spending more than 34% of their income on rent. The state ranks 49th, which is the second worst, for rental availability, and only 1 in 7 renter occupied structures was built after 2000. And with just 3.4% rental vacancy, Massachusetts is tied with neighboring Vermont for the tightest rental market in the country. According to the state's 2025 statewide housing needs assessment, an increase an increase in seasonal second homes and vacation rental properties is one factor causing the housing availability crunch. However, there is good reason. The Bay State is such a hot destination for travelers and summer homes, and ranked one of the best places to move in 2025. Massachusetts ranks third best for quality of life, with low crime rates and strong lifestyle metrics like walkability, park access, and restaurant density. Key metrics includes median gross rent on two bedrooms, which is $1,687. Percentage of renter occupied units built after 2000, which is 14.5%, with a vacancy rate of 3.4%. Number four is going to be Louisiana. Louisiana has 37.77 out of 100 points. Louisiana is amongst the worst states in the U.S. for renters' quality of life, with high crime rates and low access to parks. The state also struggles in key affordability metrics like the average percentage of income residents spend on rent, which at nearly 36% is the second worst in the country. Despite these challenges, Louisiana ranks among the 10 best states for rental availability thanks to a high rental vacancy rate at almost 8%. However, if you are burned out on renting in the Pelican State and ready for a change, you may want to consider buying a home instead of signing a new lease. In Alexandria, Louisiana, the monthly costs associated with owning a home are nearly 9% lower than the median rent, the biggest home ownership discount in the country. Now, some of the key metrics in Louisiana is the median gross rent on a two-bedroom is only $1,038. The percentage of renter occupied units built after 2000 is 23.1%, and it has a vacancy rate of 7.8%. Number three on the list is going to be Florida. Now, Florida has a score of 37.29 out of 100 points. Like 49th ranked Nevada, Florida calls into question the notion that rental affordability and availability always go hand in hand. In other analysis, Florida earned one of the lowest scores for rental affordability. The Sunshine State ranks 49th, or second worst overall in the category. Median rent in this state is about 16% above the national rate, and Floridans are the most cost burden renters in the country, spending an average of 36% of their income on rent. Florida also lacks three of the key renters' rights laws that we compared. It's tied for the bottom rank in the tenant protection category, and at the same time, Florida ranks high fifth best for rental availability, even as the state's population continues to grow. Now, the renter the rental market is among the least competitive in the country, with the seventh highest rental vacancy rate, and a significant chunk of the rental housing stock is relatively new. Almost 29% of renter occupied structures were built after 2000, more than 6 points above the national average. Now, some key metrics to keep in mind is the median gross rent on a two-bedroom is $1,564. The percentage of renter occupied units built after 2000 is 28.9%, and Florida has a vacancy rate of 7.6%. Getting into the top two, the second state on our list for the worst rental market is going to be Nevada. Now, Nevada has a score of 37.25 out of 100 points. Nevada is the second worst state for renters, offers offers some of the poorest renter protections in the country. It's one of the 29 U.S. states that lack laws in three key areas that protect renters. Further explained in the methodology that we looked at a little bit earlier. Nevada also scores poorly across affordability and quality of life metrics, ranking 45th and 40th, respectively. However, Nevada ranks fourth best in rental availability, even as the population grows in major cities like Las Vegas and Reno, as well as smaller ones like Mesquite. So, how is the Silver State keeping up with demand? Simple, by increasing supply. In the 2010s, Nevada increased its housing stock by more than 11%. The COVID-19 pandemic didn't derail this progress either. From 2020 to 2023, the state gained an estimated 62,315 units, or an increase of about 5% in just 3 years. Now, some key metrics to focus on is the median gross rent on a two-bedroom is about $1,489. The percentage of renter occupied units built after 2000 is 34.4%, and the vacancy rate is 6.7%. Now, thinking about all the states that we went through so far, there's a few states that I'm thinking that I thought would make the list that didn't. And with that being said, I'm sure you guys can guess what the top state is based off the states that we haven't spoken about. The number one state in the United States that is being hugely affected by the housing crisis is going to be California. California has a score of 34.74 out of 100 points. A statewide affordability crisis, tight rental market, and aging housing stock earned California the bottom rank for renter friendliness. At nearly $2,000 a month, median rent in California is the highest in the country. California is also the state with the highest cost of living. The state has a tighter than average rental market with a rental vacancy rate of just over 4%. Further, despite adding millions of housing units in recent decades, just 1 in 6 renter occupied structures in California was built after 2000. If you are considering whether to buy in California, here's one silver lining. The Golden State has solid renters laws, ranking fifth best for tenant protections in our analysis. In 2019, the state passed legislation that requires landlords to have a just cause to terminate tenancy. It's now one of just 6 states that have such laws. Some of the key metrics is that the gross rent on a two-bedroom is $1,956. The percentage of renter occupied units built after 2000 is 16.7%, and the vacancy rate is 4.1%. Now, those are the top 10 states in the United States. Let me know in the comments if you're surprised by any state that made the list or some states that didn't make the list. I was actually a bit surprised that New York wasn't on the list, but I have been hearing a little bit in the media about how more people have been gravitating to New York. So maybe I'll do a deep dive of some of the metrics of why that is. Either way, let me know in the comments. And if you're thinking about selling your property and you would like